Hi, my name's Phil Gardner and welcome to Fun with Boxes. Well, today I'm going to take a look at something I've been looking forward to for quite some time now, and that is the latest Dungeons and Dragons rulebook, and that is the long-awaited Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual 2025. My goodness, it does not seem that long ago when I was playing this version of this wonderful game. Looking back at these books, it really does take me back in time, back to the early 80s, and many hours of fun in our local games club, the Kurjalki Club, based in Tom Pentra in the Darts Club. Not that that would mean anything to you, or indeed anything to most people now, because that establishment is long gone. Look at that. The original Monster Manual, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, or rather Advanced AD&D as it was known back then. And this is the Monster Manual, an illustrated compendium of monsters, Aerial Servant to Zombie by Gary Gygax, and published of course by TSR back then. Fast forward to 2014 and you'd have the 5th edition. Well, I was going to say the 5th edition of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. However, it is now simply called Dungeons and Dragons, or D&D. And this is the 2014 edition of the Monster Manual. 5th edition. But then, fast forward another 10 years. And, or a little over 10 years, and here we have Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual, and this is the Monster Manual 2025 version. And oh my goodness, what a fantastic book this is. Absolutely fantastic and well worth the wait, I believe. 384 pages worth of monster goodness, or monster badness, as it were. Well, let's take a closer look at this to see why I am so excited. And we'll also have a look at the monster stat bar and how this has been revised and improved. And we'll compare it to the first edition there many moons ago and to what it looks like now. Let's go and have a look at what's inside this rather wonderful looking tome. Okay, let's take a look at the Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual 2025. We have a wonderful index of all the stat blocks for all the creatures that you will find. You get a what's new in the 2025 version compared to the 2014 version. And then we have a number of pages of introductions about how to use monsters in your campaign. And this has got quite a little bit of useful information here. In particular, this wonderful example of the stat block here, the stat block overview for the monsters. So if I just have a quick look through here, this will go through all the various parts of the stat block, explaining what they are. Also, an interesting little thing here about how to run a monster. I found that quite interesting. And with that, straight away, from page 10, we are right into the monsters. And my goodness, as you can see, I'll just open up a few pages here, just for you to see the type of artwork and the general sort of layout that you can see of this rule book, which is absolutely stunning. The layout is fantastic, the graphic design is brilliant, and the illustrations are phenomenal throughout the book. And as you can see, there are page after page after page after page of all manner of monsters. It really is an absolute delight. And then we will get to the appendices then. And Appendix A is all the beast type creatures, your animals there, so things like ape, baboons, black bears, bats, badgers, snakes, crabs, cats, camels, you name it. It is here for you, including a load of giant versions of things as well. Giant sharks, giant spiders, giant wasps. Ooh. quite a number of your beast creatures there. And then we get to the Appendix B here, and here are the monster lists. And the first thing we have is the monster conversion here. So every monster in the 2014 Monster Manual either appears in this book or has a challenge rating, appropriate replacement. So if you're looking for something in any previous adventures you've got and you can't find it in the book, then you can look this up here and it'll tell you what the 2025 equivalent is. Then we've got monsters listed by habitat, and again giving you their challenge rating. So we've got Arctic monsters, coastal, desert, forest, grasslands, hill, mountain, swamp monsters, underdark monsters, underwater and urban monsters. And then you've got all the monsters listed by type there. Aberration, beast, celestial, construct, dragon, elemental, fey, fiend, humanoid, monstrosity, you name it, all covered here. And also monsters by group then, whether they're angels, beholders, demons, devils, etc. And then you've got the monsters by challenge rating there, so you can look through and pick out some basic monsters for some level 1 adventures, or of course you can go through to the rather terrifying high level challenge rating monsters. And there you have it. That is the ultimate fantasy beastery. And I agree. 50th anniversary edition. This is the Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual 2025. And I can tell you that this was well worth the wait. And it has got so much stuff in here. This really is a fantastic purchase for anyone into the game, and certainly for anyone wanting to DM the game. And there you have it. So let's take a look at how to read the new stat blocks in the Monster Manual 2025 edition. So the first couple of pages of the book will detail all of this for you, but if I just use the example that they've included in the book and just go through each section to explain what they are. First off here at the top, number 1, you have the name and general details of the monster. So its name followed by its size, creature type, along with any descriptive tags and its alignment. Next we have their combat highlights, and this will give you their armor class, hit point, speed and initiative. Then we have their ability scores with their ability modifiers and saving throws. In the next part we have some other details here, and this will detail the monster's senses, languages and their challenge rating. Additional details appear in some monsters such as skill proficiencies, resistances, immunities and gear. Next we move down to the traits, and these are active at all times or during certain situations. Then we have their actions, and these are the actions the monster can take here in addition to those that are presented in the player's handbook. Next we have some bonus actions, and this provides any bonus actions the creature could have. And finally at the bottom here, even though it isn't listed in this example, this will list the reactions and legendary actions if that monster does have any. And just for a little bit of fun, let's compare some stat blocks from the original edition of Advanced D&D and compare them to the new 2025 Monster Manual, just to have a little look at how things have developed over the years. And as you can see, things have developed quite a bit, haven't they? Which of course is only to be expected, but I must admit the new monster stat blocks are fantastic. They contain all the information you need at a glance. These are really brilliant. And there you have it. That's how to read a monster stat block. Well, there we have it. Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual 2025 edition. What an awesome book. What a fantastically well laid out, well illustrated, beautiful looking book, and it is chock full of fantastic monsters for you to use in your Dungeons and Dragons campaign. I cannot recommend this enough. It is an absolutely fantastic book, and I think definitely worth the upgrade from the 2014 edition, as indeed I think the new Dungeon Master's Guide 2024 edition and the Player's Handbook 2024 edition, all of them have just got these wonderful layouts. Everything is clearly presented with examples, and these books are really, really good, especially for newcomers to the game, because of all these wonderful examples and the beautiful layout. And of course, this is chock full of the most wonderful illustrations that I have seen in a Dungeons and Dragons book, where you no longer have to try and visualize what a creature could look at from its description. You get a wonderful illustration there that will just draw you straight into this fantasy world setting. And also, just looking through the book, I'm sure I've read this somewhere or seen this somewhere, where they say where every illustration, every monster in the Monster Manual could lead you into a whole new story for your campaigns. What a wonderful resource this is. Really, really is a tremendous book. And I am going to be looking forward to digging through and just picking this up every night, having a little look through and seeing what different creatures are in there and what sparks my imagination. Fantastic. I still, of course, love this edition. Phenomenal. But the 2025 edition, this obviously is the way to go. Well, I do hope you enjoyed taking a look at this with me. If you did, please consider hitting the old like button and also hit that subscribe button too, if you would be so kind, because I would be really, really, really grateful if you could do that for me, because it will help to grow the channel. And indeed, if you would like to see some more role-playing game content, please let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Please do take care, and bye for now.